Good afternoon from Yammy B TV. Wishing you all well today. Like I told you earlier, I was going to be back up to do my second share. But before just that, I'd like to take you back because this was the first day out of prison. Just to let you know, coming straight out of prison, straight into crime as soon as you get out the door was basically habitual and a normal thing for me at that time, sadly. But I'm giving you this part first because I have to break it down because after this I'm going to do the share with the crack houses and my first experience of A-class drugs and some of the things I saw with the violence, the suffering, the sadness and the madness. So yes, at that time I was doing a 3 or 4 year sentence, second one back to back, shortly after the Queen's pardon, and I started smoking brown, which is heroin, on a silver foil with a tube in my mouth. It started that way. I didn't used to smoke anything, and not even cannabis, because I'd smoked it when I was a little boy and didn't like it. And a man walked into my cell and said to me, Yammy, you're too hyper, you need something to slow you down. So we know what happened next. I turned into a notorious barefaced robber in prison. Never really done a lot of robberies outside at this time. But I was muscly, I was big, I thought I was it. I had the ponytail. People used to say that I was like Steven Seagal. They were referring to a film, I can't remember what one it was. But basically, I thought I was the bee's knees and would do anything to be like, or want to be like, some of the boys I was hanging around with at that time from Brixton, who were notorious robbers as well, outside and inside. So, yep, I developed a 9 month mild habit on the brown heroin as we know it. And on the final day of my release, I smoked a small little smoke the night before. So I woke up in the morning knowing that felt a little bit withdrawary, but happy to be getting at the gate. I'd already arranged for 3 of my mates from back in the day to meet me at the gate. And I was expecting them to have money when I saw them. So I'm reaching out the gate, all spudding, hugging, loving. We'd gone back a real number of years, all of us. And I was basically over the moon to be back with them all. So out of everybody during that time, I was always the one that was missing. They had longer periods out of me and developed serious A-class drug habits long before me, with heroin and with crack. On being released, we got to Woking, and I asked them if they had any money. They said to me, none of them had nothing. I thought, wow. I thought, Yammy, you just got out. They're meeting you at prison. You think normally, because we know how prison goes, it's meant to be when you get out, people are meant to be throwing money at you so that you don't go and steal straight away, kind of thing, like to keep yourself out of trouble, that kind of stuff. But no, they didn't have none. I think there was a discharge grant between us, and I was thinking, bloody hell, is it going to be enough? I hadn't really been introduced to crack properly at this time, not crack houses anyway. But anyway, we got to Victoria, I think it was. So I must have stopped off or gone into the toilet, and the other 3, my mates, were waiting 10, 20 yards away. When I came out, I found that they were about 20 meters away from me, during which time I was approached by 2 dark fellows. And they walked up to me and they said to me, are you interested in buying any weed? So I said to myself, no one in history has ever walked up to me and said, oh, do you want to buy this and buy that? So I was thinking, right, I'm lucky, not knowing the game too much then. It was more like, wow, incentive to do a robbery. They don't know what I'm like, really. So I pretended, obviously, maybe I looked a bit like I had money, like I was that kind of geezer. I don't know. But it was a strange request for me. And at one point, I thought it could have been a setup. But on careful reflection, I saw it as an opportunity to get some stuff and probably get the weed, rob the weed and sell it on or whatever. So I said to him, how much you got? Like, kind of thing, when you go in here. You want to know how much you got, like you got the money to buy it straight away because you're interested, kind of thing. Bang. They said they had 5 ounces in the carrier bag that one of them was holding. So I basically looked round at the other 3 and said to them, look, like to say, wait, don't come near me. So I started walking with the 2 geezers, and we're walking from Victoria to Hyde Park, all the way through to Park Lane There's a lot of talking going on between the both of them. We're talking about prices, 280, 380 at that time for weed. I said, can I smell the bag? This time, I'm still looking behind me to see the other 2 or 3. Walking a bit slower, the distance seemed to be further. So my heart was pounding a little bit. I was thinking, so if I did try and rob them, kind of thing, because I've never really done a robbery on my own at this stage, apart from when I was in prison. So we're walking, and I smelt the bag. It smelt a little bit funky to me, but not being a weed man, I couldn't really tell. But really, basically, all I'm thinking about is getting them to a quiet spot and having enough bottle to take it off them, right? So we're walking. We've gone through Baker Street down to Regent's Park, on Park Road, and we reached the gates, another entrance to the canal. I looked behind me. My friends seemed to be getting further and further away. I was thinking, are they expecting me to just do this on my own and without them? But yes, I was trying to impress and let them see the new reinvented Sammy, which was Yammy by this time. So we're walking, we reached the canal gates, and they said I started to lay a little bit because I was kind of a bit unsure, like if I could really tackle the both of them, kind of saying not small geezers, but I was strong myself then and really confident, and with background friends, I believe that's what spurred me on to show them that I could do it, and this was me now, which they were all shocked at. So really, I think they were waiting for me to bring them, the 2 guys, round to a quiet place, and then they would come. But when I reached the canal gates, it looked like I was saying, well, let me hold the bag, and I'll wait for phone up or whatever. We'll go to a phone box by the petrol station, and I'll get my friend down with the money. And they would say, no money. No, you've got to have some money now, blah, blah, blah. So I debated. I looked at them both and snatched the carrier bag and legged it down the canal, straight over the other entrance, straight into Lisson Green Estate, right? Didn't see my mates. I didn't know where they were, but the 2 guys didn't even make a move to fight me. So, if anything, I started to walk a little bit slower. You know, it wasn't like a real hectic thing where I was being chased and all that kind of stuff. But I got into the estate, got into the laundrette, gassed, which means excited, giving it a big one, and run straight into the laundrette, where I saw the laundrette lady that I've known for years, and her mother, which, you know, they work there in that side of that estate. And I sat there with the bag, and then I saw my 2, 3 friends coming in about 10 minutes later. They said, where did you go? What happened? What? Did you get it? What happened? We saw you run. I was thinking, he saw it. He didn't even run behind me, no protection or nothing. But I opened the bag, and I passed it to them. I said, yeah, but it smells a bit funky. And they both said, all of them said to me, Yammy, it's not weed, it's time. I said, oh, no. So that vexed me even more. This was my first day out, remember, on the first day of release, which was a frequent thing, you know, during those habitual days of crime kind of stuff. So I was pissed off, basically, and then with them went back to one of their houses, and which I'm going to share the rest with you in just a moment. When it first came, you know, the crack houses and all the sadness and madness that went with it all. All right, see you in a minute. Love you all. Sending loads of love.